Imprint Films just blew me away with this announcement. Now, it's not Ninja Turtles. I'm hoping we get that next year because that'll be the anniversary. But we're talking about NeverEnding Story. Now, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. Imprint is also my all-time favorite boutique Blu-ray label. We're going to dive into all that in just a second. The two things I want to talk about is why is it so expensive? And then the actual collectability of this. Why is this so big? Why is this a display piece and a collector piece? And I think that the Walmart $5 bin has kind of ruined collecting and ruined that mentality for most people. And I say that because very recently I bought this movie here. I like it. There's no other version. There's this and a DVD. Both of them say collector's edition on top. Nothing about this is a collector's edition. This is the standard. There's no other version. And when you open this up, it also says it right there, but it has a few deleted scenes, a gag reel, some commentary stuff. Those extra features are nice, but it comes standard on so many other versions. How is this extra special? I don't feel that it is. Now, this is just a no-slouch release. You're getting new 4K restorations. You're getting the German 4K version on this, so I'm sure there's some licensing with there, which adds to the cost. But you're getting a poster, some art cards, you're getting 5 discs, 2 4Ks, and 3 Blu-rays, and you're getting all kinds of extra special features with this on top of the big extra heavy box set. Now, this entire box weighs about 5 pounds, and so I don't know if that's like shipping weight or just how it is as is, but listed on their website, when you convert it, it's about 5 pounds. This thing is a monster, and it's an oversized deluxe box set that's going to sit on your shelf, not like a normal set. Growing up and seeing these collector's editions and collecting myself for over 25 years, you have things that just don't fit on a shelf. So like, this is a collector's edition. It doesn't fit on a shelf. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie, so I didn't have to have this for that reason. I found it at the thrift store, but I like it, and it's just unique. But this doesn't fit on a shelf. This actually sits on the, there's a little lip on the shelf on the floor where this sits on that most of the time, and that actually covers up some other movies. But I don't have a lot of room for this, but it's cool enough, and it's a VHS set. So this is just back in the day, and I don't know if it's missing any of the cards or anything that came with it, but this is not a normal standard set. This is something that wouldn't have been priced around what the regular VHS tapes were selling for, because this was for your collection. This was meant for somebody that just really loved this movie. When I first heard about this, a buddy of mine made a video, and then a whole bunch of people texted me and DM'd me, and a couple people, sent stuff on Instagram. So everybody let me know that this was announced. I rolled out of bed. I had to pre-order it right away, and this was just something it was a no-brainer for me. Now, other movies I've been on the fence about, but Imprint, absolutely not. This one here, this box set is just one of the many that I have. I've been buying Imprint stuff for a very long time, but you're getting a nice, solid, hard, chunky box set here. But as this comes off, all the discs are individually packaged in their own specific case with all the information there. Just really nice presentation, and if anybody wants to compete, Print Films is just top notch. When it comes to the more expensive price tag, you are moving more to a collector market, and for the last year now, I've heard so many people beat that war drum of, I'm glad it's moving to a collector market, or it's a good thing Best Buy doesn't carry these movies anymore. And I know not everybody has that sentiment, but I've heard it, and it's we're going back to a collector market, and that's a good thing. Well, going back to a collector market, you have less people buying these things, which is going to increase the price. To restore these movies costs a ton of money. And so if you have a smaller pool of people buying them, it is going to cost a little bit more. So adding all these extra features and these extra things to give you a nicer package and a nicer collector item, that's what's going to happen. You're going to see these more expensive prices. You're getting 5 discs in here, and yes, it's the same movie, but it costs money to restore these things, and there is a new restoration that wasn't being done by anybody else. And so you have this new restoration, you have licensing on the other movies and all this stuff, so it does cost money to get this stuff made, but you're getting so many extra things in here. And I get that there's plenty of people that just want just the movie. And I don't know what kind of deal that they have, but I suspect that they will re-release just the single standard version down the road. They've done it on many of their bigger sellers, and I've seen them do it multiple times. Now, depending on whatever kind of deal that they have, they might not be able to do that. My speculation is there will be something else coming down the road. But also, because this exists now or it's coming out, other companies throughout the world, other boutique Blu-ray labels will be able to use this 4K restoration. They'll be able to license it out, and they will be able to put out different versions of this movie. So if this set isn't for you today, this version will be coming down the road. I guarantee that this is not its last stop. One of the arguments is that's too pricey, I don't want it. Go back to the collector's market and not the mass consumption. You are hitting a more expensive price tag for a lot of this stuff. Now, for example, I have this movie, The Graduate, on VHS. Now, the price tag here was $59.95. And to figure out when this movie was made, we look at Embassy Home Entertainment, we look at the logo here and when this logo was made, and just a little bit of research, I found out that the logo was made between 1986 and 1988. So when you adjust for inflation, this VHS was about $172 to $159. Now, that is the exact same price as this NeverEnding Story set. So this is one movie with no bells and whistles, and everyone can argue that the technology was new back then and that's what it was, but it also was a collector's market. Not everybody had this, and I've actually double checked with some older guys that I talked to that were buying movies back then, because when I was, back then I was just a kid and I was not buying any movies. Guys that were buying these movies back then claim that that price is pretty standard. I found it on several VHS and Betamax tapes that are still sealed with the original price tags on them, have some of those higher prices, anywhere between $60 and $100. We're talking about back in the 1980s. Asking why is it so expensive? When they have the lower price, you're going to have the two things. You're going to have eBay resellers, which I absolutely loathe entirely, and you're going to have the I got to buy two so I can keep one for myself and sell one kind of guy, putting that on eBay. And you have that stuff happening all the time. I think it's there to mitigate resellers, scalpers, people buying multiples just to sell them and selling out of stock. And I think it's a fair price for what you're getting. Now, I know that there's going to be a million people in the comments saying that they disagree, and I totally get it. This is not for everybody. But I bought this right here just a few years ago when it came out for $80. So this is just a hunk of piece of plastic, another thing that I absolutely wanted from the very first time I saw this movie. And Best Buy put this out with the Judgment Day 4K, and so you get the movie, you get this, kind of cool. It's like, I think it was like 80 bucks. This recently sold for $550 on eBay, and there's always listings for this at the $800 price range. This exact same movie in different versions have recently sold for anywhere between $150 to $160. TC Entertainment out of Japan had released a version of the NeverEnding Story that had two Blu-rays and a nice little hardcover slip box set. That is on eBay right now for about $150, $160. It's just some Blu-rays, and it's like this. And so this is the TC Entertainment Fifth Element. It has a nice little slip box, which is just a nice hardcover box set here, but it really is just paper on top of cardboard. Looks like the book, but it's just paper printed. And so to spend that kind of money on this, not for me. And just very recently, the Jaws 4K Steelbook, which I think was like $35 or in that price range when it was released just a few years ago, several of them have sold for over $200 recently. And so, you're like, oh, well, why isn't it cheaper? Well, people are still buying these at the higher price, and I would never pay $200 for a steelbook. I don't see the value of it, but somebody has bought these. And so, the reality is the collectors are going to pay about that price for this type of stuff. Having this at the higher price point, I believe that it's not price gouging at all. I think that it's kind of set perfect for what you're getting. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you're getting this set, what you think. I know that there are so many people that are not getting this set. We have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I haven't really talked about yet, but I've given some sneak peeks to the members. And thank you to the newest channel member, Daniel Marks. Appreciate you. But as we have channel member friends and stuff like that, you never have to do that. Just putting a thumbs up or commenting on these videos is something that's always welcomed and appreciated, and that's as far as you have to go. But if you'd like to go above and beyond to become a channel member, we are launching a merch store, and we're going to be having our own shirts and hoodies and cups and all kinds of stuff coming down the road, and feedback is welcome. So all that stuff has been kind of sneak peeked through the members only section, and that's kind of where it's going to stay for now until we actually officially launch. But as I'm working out the designs and everything, I have been getting feedback from the members. But thank you for being a part of that, gentlemen. You're going to want to watch this video right here. Watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.